Gentlemen, quick question. Has the word forbidden ever caught your attention? Maybe it's the thrill. Maybe it's the surprise. Maybe it's the idea of a boundary respectfully crossed inside an agreed container. If you've ever wondered whether a few edgier techniques can actually deepen intimacy, not harm it, this video is for you. I'm Dr. Mariana, a urologist specializing in men's health and intimacy, and for 12 years I've helped couples navigate what works, what's safe, and what actually builds trust in the bedroom. Today, I'll show you 3 once taboo techniques that, when used with clear consent, care, and aftercare, can awaken parts of the nervous system most daily life doesn't touch, making her crave you more and feel profoundly known. Before we begin, 2 quick things. Hit like, subscribe if you're new, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I read those, and they remind me this is a global conversation about real relationships. Ready? Let's do this carefully, intelligently, and with kindness. Here's a myth I hear all the time. Anything that feels intense or edgy is disrespectful or dangerous. That's half right. It can be if used without consent, safety, and honesty. But the clinical truth is different. When there is explicit, enthusiastic consent, agreed boundaries, a clear stop signal, and proper aftercare, certain techniques that people call forbidden can actually activate deep reward and safety circuits in the brain. They work because they engage more of her nervous system, pressure receptors in fascia and skin, pelvic nerve pathways, trigeminal inputs from the scalp, and those signals combine into a powerful embodied experience. Put simply, it's not rules versus pleasure, it's a craft. The craft requires conversation, calibration, and compassion. For 12 years, I've sat with couples, often at their most vulnerable moments, and coached them through these conversations and practices safely. I've seen clearly that the couples who do this best are those who create a container beforehand, agreed words, signals, aftercare, proceed slowly with explicit consent, and debrief afterwards, so the experience is remembered as connection, not confusion. So today I'll walk you through how to build the container, the 3 techniques themselves: Nameplay, Rhythmic spanking, and Scalp hair-based stimulation. The biology behind why they feel so powerful, how to do them safely and practically, and what to do if something goes sideways. The 3rd technique, the one many men think is too much, is actually one of the most profoundly intimate ways to connect when done with care. We'll save that for last. Do this clothed, calm, and present. This is non-negotiable. I cannot stress this enough. The container is not foreplay. It is the foundation upon which everything else rests. Without it, you are building intimacy on sand. With it, you are building on rock. Container checklist. Do this seated together, preferably in a neutral space where neither of you feels rushed or distracted. Map 3 things together: what's appealing, what's off limits, and what you're open to trying. Be specific. Vague agreements lead to misunderstandings. Clear agreements lead to freedom. Pick a clear stop signal, for example, red or pause, and a slow down cue like yellow or softer. These words must be respected instantly, without question, without negotiation. The moment she says the stop word, everything stops. No exceptions. Agree on a subtle, in-the-moment check. A squeeze of the hand equals more. A double tap equals ease up. These nonverbal signals allow communication to flow without breaking the mood or the rhythm of the experience. Agree on an aftercare ritual. Water at the bed, slow embrace, 60 to 120 seconds of calming touch, and 1 honest reassurance sentence. You were incredible, and did you feel okay? This landing ritual is not optional, it is essential. Why this matters biologically. Your nervous system responds to patterns. If her brain expects safety, a predictable stop signal, a known landing, it can release oxytocin and downregulate fear circuits, allowing powerful pleasure pathways to open. The amygdala, which processes fear and threat, quiets down when the brain knows there is a safe exit. This allows the pleasure centers to fully engage. Emotionally, this builds trust first. Without it, forbidden becomes coercion. With it, forbidden becomes a shared adventure. I have seen couples transform their entire relationship simply by learning to have this conversation before intimacy. It changes everything. Practically, take 3 to 5 minutes before you even kiss. This small investment multiplies everything that follows. Think of it as tuning an instrument before a concert. The music that follows will be infinitely more beautiful. What if spoken words were permission, not pressure? What if the right phrase at the right moment could unlock something deep within her that she didn't even know was waiting? What it is. Nameplay is a pre-agreed, curated form of erotic language. Not insults or coercion, but permissioned praise and desire in words she likes to hear. This is not about saying whatever comes to mind. This is about saying what has been invited, what has been welcomed, what has been desired. Biology. Language near the ear uses trigeminal and facial nerve inputs, plus auditory reward circuits. When combined with touch, the brain associates specific words with bodily sensations of pleasure. Dopamine spikes when language matches sensation. That's why well-timed, adored words feel intoxicating. The auditory cortex and the limbic system work together, creating a feedback loop of arousal and emotional connection. Emotionally, many women spend years being polite or in charge. A carefully chosen phrase in a safe frame can give explicit permission to want and receive. It can be deeply liberating. I have had patients tell me that hearing certain words from their partner made them feel seen in ways they had never experienced before. That is the power of language when used with intention and care. Practical how-to. Do this only after you've mapped boundaries. Ask first, not "can I," but "are there phrases you like to hear? Any words that are a hard no?" Write them down. Keep them somewhere you can reference. This is not a test of memory. This is a commitment to her comfort and pleasure. Anchor to sensation. Say things tied to what you see or feel. That arch when I kiss your neck. Stay like that. Your lips here feel incredible. Observational praise. Sensual permission. The key is specificity. Generic compliments feel hollow. Specific observations feel intimate. Match breath and tone. Start low, warm, close to her ear. Match her exhale. Keep it about her desire and your awe of it. Your voice should feel like a caress, not an intrusion. Avoid degrading language unless explicitly requested and agreed beforehand. Even then, proceed with caution and check in frequently. Mistakes to avoid. Improv without consent. Using phrases that shame. Poorly timed insults. If she flinches or quiets, stop and check in immediately. Her body will tell you everything you need to know if you are paying attention. Aftercare tip. Finish with soft praise and a hand squeeze tied to your agreed landing ritual. Tell her something specific that you loved about the experience. This anchors the positive emotions and creates a memory of safety and connection. Spanking can sound scary, yeah, but used right, it's about rhythm, not pain. It's about connection, not dominance. It's about mutual pleasure, not power over another person. What it is. A measured rhythmic palm pressure on the upper outer quadrant of the buttock, the fleshy area, used as part of a coordinated rhythm paired with breath, touch, and if agreed, steady penetration or external stimulation. This is not hitting. This is percussion. This is rhythm. This is music played on the body. Biology. The buttocks contain rich sensory input and muscle/fascial networks connected to pelvic organs via branches of the pudendal nerve and associated pressure/stretch receptors. When you apply controlled pressure and rebound, press, then let go, you activate deep mechanoreceptors that can echo into the pelvis and increase pelvic floor tone and arousal. The brain responds to rhythmic pattern stimulation with entrainment. The pleasure centers synchronize with the tempo. This is why drumming feels primal. This is why dancing feels liberating. The body responds to rhythm at a fundamental level, and when that rhythm is applied with intention and care, the results can be extraordinary. Emotionally, if it's consented and desired, spanking can feel primal and intensely connective, like a shared, controlled exchange of power and sensation. Many women describe it as feeling grounded, present, and deeply connected to their partner. The key word is consent. Without it, this technique has no place in any relationship. Practical how-to. Safety first. Warm up. Start with open-palmed kneading and slow caresses to warm tissue and soften muscles. Never begin with impact. Always begin with tenderness. Location. Aim for the upper outer quadrant of the buttock. This is the fleshy, muscular area that can absorb impact safely. Avoid tailbone, spine, hip bones, kidneys. These areas are vulnerable and can be seriously injured. Hand shape. Fingers together, palm open. Think press and rebound, not slap and snap. The motion should feel like a wave, not a strike. Tempo and pressure. Begin light. 1 to 2 per breath. Watch for arching, exhaling, or pulsing as green signs. These indicate pleasure and receptivity. If she stiffens or breath shortens, ease off immediately. Her body is communicating. Listen to it. Pairing. Rhythm works best paired with steady external stimulation, hand or toy, or a constant motion from you. The brain loves patterns, so the steady beat becomes part of the pleasure architecture. When multiple sensations align rhythmically, the experience becomes immersive and powerful. Landing. Always land soft. Soothe the area with palm pressure. Kiss the spot. Offer water and a minute of chest-to-back holding. The transition from intensity to tenderness is crucial. It tells her nervous system that she is safe, that she is loved, that she is cared for. Mistakes to avoid. Hitting bone. Increasing speed without permission. Failing to soothe afterward. If there's bruising or sharp pain, stop immediately and assess. This should never cause injury. Aftercare. Apply gentle palm pressure, soft words, and a cool compress if needed. The landing is critical. This is where consent becomes memory. How you end determines how the experience is remembered. The last one sounds wild, but for many, it's deeply intimate. This technique, when done correctly, can create a full-body experience that is unlike anything else. What it is: a gentle, deliberate pull at the hair close to the scalp, not a yank, used as part of a coordinated rhythm, often timed with a breath, kiss, or thrust. Done properly, the sensation travels along trigeminal and cervical sensory pathways and into the pelvic floor as a wave. The head and pelvis become connected in a circuit of sensation. Biology. The scalp is densely innervated. A slow pull at the hair roots stimulates afferent signals that can modulate spinal and vagal circuits, leading to a whole-body rush. Timing the pull with exhale and pelvic motion can amplify the embodied sensation, creating a powerful, synchronous experience between head and pelvis. The trigeminal nerve, which innervates the scalp, has connections to the brainstem that influence arousal, breathing, and emotional state. When stimulated correctly, it can create a cascade of pleasurable sensations throughout the entire body. Emotionally, when done with care, this technique feels claimed with care, evocative and full-bodied. It's not dominance without love. It's an intimate handshake between the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems that can lead to deep release. Many women describe it as feeling completely present, completely held, completely desired. Practical how-to. Read this twice. Safety matters enormously with this technique. Medical screen. Skip this entirely if there are neck issues, migraines, recent scalp procedures, or hair extensions. The risks are not worth it. There are plenty of other ways to create connection. Consent and signal. Get explicit okay and a stop word. If there's any hesitation, do not proceed. Enthusiasm is required. Ambivalence is a no. Hand position. Gather a small handful at the base of the hair with fingers curved like a gentle hook. Do not grab ends. The ends have no sensation. The roots have all the nerve endings. Direction and timing. Choose one slow direction, back or up. Pull slowly. Hold 1 to 2 breaths, then release. Time the pull with a thrust or a deep kiss. The coordination creates the magic. Pressure. This is guiding, not jerking. The motion should feel like a slow stretch, not a sudden yank. If she tenses or neck twists, stop immediately. Finish. Soothe by massaging the scalp in slow circles and end on gentle, warming touch. The scalp will be sensitive after stimulation. Tenderness here is essential. Mistakes to avoid: pulling too many hairs, jerking suddenly, ignoring neck rotation. If she reports pain, numbness, or dizziness afterward, stop and seek medical advice immediately. Aftercare: immediate scalp massage, water, chest holding, and a debrief. Ask, How did that feel? Anything I should change? Her feedback is invaluable. Listen without defensiveness. Think of your time together as an arc. Every great experience has a beginning, a middle, a climax, and an ending. Intimacy is no different. Frame, the pre-play agreement. One sentence that invites and confirms. Do you still want to try the rhythm game we discussed? Wait for a clear yes. A hesitant yes is a no. An enthusiastic yes is permission to proceed. Build, breath-to-breath touch. Use long strokes, steady palms, and observational nameplay. Introduce light spanking or a whisper phrase only as previously agreed. This phase should feel like a slow climb, not a rush to the summit. Crest. Increase pressure or tempo slightly at her yes. This is where edgier agreed language or a gentle hair gather can amplify release. Keep variables minimal. Change either pressure or speed, not both at once. Too many changes create chaos. One change at a time creates crescendo. Land. Ease the tempo. Soften the touch. Hold her. And speak one thing you loved about how she responded. This triggers oxytocin and files the memory as safe and intimate. The landing is not the end. It is the completion. Biology recap. This arc pattern trains the nervous system to expect a safe, intense crescendo, followed by a gentle landing. Over time, the brain learns to let go and enjoy the depth of sensation because it knows the landing will be soft. If you want to try this tonight, here's a simple checklist. Pre-talk. 3 to 5 minutes. Clothed, calm. Agree on words, stop signals. Say one thing you'll do the whole time. For example, I'll check in with a hand squeeze every few minutes. Environment. Dim light, water nearby. Small towel for aftercare. Quiet music if helpful. Temperature comfortable. Distractions eliminated. Start with presence. 2 minutes of synchronized breathing and full body contact. Look into her eyes. Feel her heartbeat. Connect before you stimulate. Nameplay. Whisper observational praise and permission phrases you agreed on. Keep it warm and sensory. Let your voice be soft and close. Introduce rhythm. Add steady hand pressure or light spanking at the fleshy upper-outer quadrant. Watch responses closely. Her body will guide you. Optional scalp pull. If consented, introduce a single slow scalp pull tied to an exhale and a kiss. Stop immediately if she flinches or tenses. Crescendo and land. When intensity peaks, slow down into gentle palm holding, scalp massage, water, and a warm embrace. Hold her for at least 2 minutes. Debrief. 2 minutes. Ask what she loved, what to change next time. Normalize any second thoughts. Thank her for trusting you. If she tenses or goes quiet, stop. Check in. Offer water and a soft landing. Silence is not consent. Silence is a signal that something needs attention. If spanking feels like pain to her, you're on bone or moving too fast. Move to the fleshy upper-outer quadrant and slow the tempo significantly. If hair pull hurts, you're likely grabbing too far from the scalp or pulling at an angle. Gather closer to the roots and pull in line with her cervical spine gently. If shame appears afterward, normalize it completely. Say, "Thank you for trying that with me. What felt good? What should we change?" A short debrief repairs the nervous system and strengthens the relationship. If medical red flags appear, any bleeding, numbness, prolonged pain, dizziness, or urinary issues, pause everything and seek evaluation from a healthcare provider. Neck or back pain, recent surgeries, migraines. No hair pulling whatsoever. Pelvic floor hypertonicity or chronic pelvic pain. Focus on relaxation and external touch before adding any impact or pressure. Anticoagulants or bleeding disorders. Avoid impact play, including spanking. Discuss with your clinician first. If either partner is intoxicated, angry, or ambivalent. Do not try new intensity under any circumstances. Consent must be sober, clear, and enthusiastic. If any of this makes you nervous, that's okay. Nervousness is part of caring. The couples who do this best are often the ones who talk about it openly, practice slowly, and treat mistakes as data, not failure. Every stumble is an opportunity to learn. Every correction is a chance to deepen trust. Many partners report that after carefully followed forbidden play, they felt more trust, easier communication, and more affection in daily life. Why? Because these practices force you to ask for a yes, listen to a no, and prioritize each other's calm landing. Those are relationship superpowers that extend far beyond the bedroom. You are not testing loyalty or proving something with intensity. You are learning to play together. That is the work of intimacy. That is the work of love. So here's the simple truth. When curiosity meets consent and intensity meets care, some once taboo moves can become doorways to deeper trust and astonishing pleasure. If you try any of this, do it slowly. Begin with the container. Use agreed words. Practice the arc. Debrief thoroughly. Protect one another always. If this helped, please like, share, and subscribe to Dr. Mariana Men's Health. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And if you'd like, share one small boundary you'll set before you try something new. It might encourage another man to do the same. One last practical note for men who want to support circulation and stamina so they can bring energy and presence to these moments. I often recommend a gentle nitric oxide support, organic watermelon extract, and L-citrulline, and when appropriate with a doctor's guidance, targeted performance blends. Links are in the pinned comment and description. Use them as complements, not replacements, for communication and consent. Thank you for taking this seriously. Be brave enough to ask. Be kind enough to listen. Be patient enough to land gently. I'm Dr. Mariana. Take care of each other. And remember, your best sex is the one you design together.